Okay, so the other part of topic 4 that we need to talk about are the word problems, the applications. There's actually only one that you need to know, but I'm just going to talk about the other ones real quick. The first type is average cost problems. We're not going to go through this one, but this is one type where we would cross multiply to solve. And then we get into percentage problems. So again, this is how it's set up, and then you would cross multiply this one again. But the one that we need are the work problems. There's also rate problems, but we're not going to do rate problems right now. So the work problems are the only ones that we're going to be doing. Okay, so these are usually set up where somebody can do a job in so much time, and somebody else takes this much time. How long does it take them to work together? Or, if they work together, how long does it take them to do one job by itself? This is how it's normally set up. X, right here says Charlene can wash a car in 15 minutes, and Robert can wash the same car in 12 minutes. So the way they set them up is X over 15 plus X over 12 equals 1. So let's see where these numbers are coming from. And then this is how they're always going to be set up. But it's nice the first time to at least know where they come from. Okay, so this first one comes from Charlene's 15 minutes. So if it takes her 15 minutes to wash one car, so she can wash one car in 15 minutes. So 1 per 15 minutes. And then it takes Robert 12 minutes to wash the same car, so he can wash one car in 12 minutes. If they work together, so together is adding, if they work together, how long will it take them to do one car? So one car in how many minutes? Or I guess X, whatever you want to call it. So this is how they originally set it up. And then to get the t out of the denominator, all we're doing is multiplying everything by t. Both sides by t, and we get t over 15, or x over 15, plus x over t over 12 equals t over t is just 1. That's where this is coming from. I mean, you can just set it up like this. You don't have to do it this way. This is just where those fractions are coming from. So if we set this one up, we have to find a common denominator between the two, and then we multiply it through. So what's the least common denominator between 15 and 12? Well, 15 is 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, so on. 75. And that's a 30. If we count 12s, we get 12, 24, 36, what's next, 48, and 60. There we see the least common multiple between the two is 60. So we want both denominators to be 60. And then I actually want this denominator to be 60 as well, so that we can ignore denominators and just look at numerators. So what do we have to multiply the first fraction by to get 60? We have to multiply 15 by 4. So whatever we do the bottom, we do the top. So here we're going to have 4t. Plus, what do we have to multiply 12 by to get 60? We have to multiply it by 5. Multiply by 5, and we get 5t. And then here, this is like 1 over 1. What do we have to multiply 1 by to get 60? We have to multiply by 60. So this is just 60. 60 over 60 is just 1. Now that all the denominators are the same, I can ignore them. And I'm just looking at numerators. I am solving 4t plus 5t equals 60. So 4t plus 5t is 9t equal to 60. Divided by 9. And on the homework, it wants this as a decimal. So if you type it in just your regular calculator, your phone calculator, you'll get the decimal for this one. T equals, what does it say this one is? Let me see. 6.6 repeating. So 6.6 repeating, which is 6 2/3. But on the homework, it wants you to round to one decimal place. So here you just round to 6.7, and then your units would be minutes. So just checking your answers. If it takes each of them individually this amount of time, working together should be smaller than this one. It's not in the middle. You're not taking the average of these two numbers. It doesn't make sense. How can they take longer working together than one of them takes by themselves? So working together, this number should be smaller. Alright, so looking at the next example, we're just going to go straight to setting it up like this. We're not going to, get to that form. This is how they're always going to be set up. Okay, so if we look at 16 here, so Shelly can paint a fence in 8 hours. Karen can do it in 4. How long would it be if they work together? Okay, so setting it up, I'm going to let X be the time it takes them together. Time together. It says together. Okay, so Shelly can paint a fence in 8 hours. So for Shelly here, we're going to do X over 8 plus, for Karen, she can do it in 4 hours. So for 4 hours, we're going to do X over 4. And how long, if they work together, will it take them to do the one job of painting the fence? So this doesn't always have to be one. If they're painting 2 different fences together, then you would put 2. However many jobs they're doing, that's what it's equal to here. Alright, so the least common multiple between 8 and 4 is going to be 8. So the other way we can do this one is just multiplying everything by the least common multiple. So here, if I multiply everything by 8, I get 8x over 8. 8x over 8, which is just x. And then I multiply it by the middle one. 8 times this one is 8x over 4, which reduces to 2x. And you multiply it by 1. 8 times 1 is just 8. So that's using the least common multiple way, the clearing the denominator. The top one was common denominator. This one is clearing the denominator. So 1x plus 2x is 3x's equals 8. Divided by 3. X is, it's 2.6 repeating in the calculator. So this is 2 2/3. But in the module, in the homework, it wants you to round to one decimal place. So you can say it's about 2.7. And what are my units here? Their time is in hours. So 2.7 hours. Okay. You can leave it as an improper fraction as well, but when you're talking to somebody about these situations, you're not going to say, oh, it takes me 9/3, or what is this, 8/3 hours. No. You're going to say it takes me, 2 hours and so many minutes, which this is good enough right here. Okay, so then the last couple of examples, or the last example here, is just worded slightly differently. So let's see which one we want to use here. So it says an electrician can wire a house in 20 hours. if he works with his apprentice, the same job can be completed in 12 hours. How long will it take the apprentice working alone to wire the house? So how is this one different than the other ones? So notice here, it gives the apprentice alone. So the apprentice alone, or the electrician alone, can do it in 20 hours. So we know that's x over 20. But then it says together, the apprentice, or the electrician and the apprentice together can complete it in 12 hours. This is x over 12. And then it wants to know how long it takes the apprentice by themselves. So since we're looking for the working alone time, that means these two fractions we're going to subtract to see how long it takes them to do the one job. Okay, but then which one goes first? Well, the bigger fraction has to go first, otherwise when you subtract you're going to get a negative. The bigger fraction is the one with the smaller denominator, because the smaller denominator means they're bigger pieces. So here we have x over 12 for the together one, minus the electrician one by himself is x over 20. So for the subtraction ones, when you're looking for the ones where they're working alone, make sure you do the smaller denominator first. The smaller denominator is the bigger fraction. But then you continue like normal. So between 12 and 20, what is my least common multiple? So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 20, 46. So I want to make both of these 60. Let's do least common multiple, or clearing the denominator. Multiply everything by 60. So 60 times the first one is going to be 60x. 60x over 12, which 60x over 12 reduces to 5x. And then we do 60 times 20, or 60 times x over 20 is 60x over 20, which reduces to 3x. And then this time we're subtracting them to get, multiply the 1 by 60, and it's equal to 60. Alright, so 5x minus 3x is 2x. 2x equals 60. Divided by 2, x is 30. And this is in hours. So again, make sure it makes sense. If together it takes them 12 hours, why would it take the apprentice short amount of time? If you add them, you're going to get a shorter number here. That doesn't make sense. So when they work alone, the alone time should be more than the shorter times combined. Okay, so just check your answers in the end, make sure they make sense. Okay, the last type of problem is a rate problem. But like I said, we don't have time to do these. This one's the only situation you're going to see on the homework and the only situation you're going to see on the test. So I just need you to know how to set them up and then how to solve them, either by clearing the denominator like we did here, or by making all common denominators and then looking at the numerators.